right, getting right into this Ipswich Town and Crystal Palace game. Um, you sent over some pretty in-depth stats and analysis.
Yeah,
I was looking over everything, and I gotta say, this one this one has big implications already. This
absolutely.
early in the season, we're talking about relegation implications.
Yeah.
Neither one of these teams wants to be down there, come May.
Right. No, absolutely not. I think both teams, despite their struggles, have reason to be confident coming into this one.
Okay, well, I'm seeing Ipswich's home form has been, well, frankly, abysmal.
Yeah.
They've got no wins at Portman Road this season.
Right.
Only 5 goals scored. I mean, if you're an Ipswich fan, that's got to be painful to watch. What's going on there?
It's a bit of a head scratcher, When you look at their away form, they've actually been quite competitive.
Hmm.
They've gotten results. They even snatched a win at Brentford.
Yeah, yeah.
But for whatever reason at home, they seem to freeze up. Tactically, they become very passive. They sit back. They absorb pressure. And, they're relying on these counterattacks that just aren't materializing.
Okay, so then maybe Palace is in a good spot here.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying they've been world beaters on the road,
Right.
but they haven't been. Well, I'm seeing here that they've failed to score before halftime in most of their away games this season.
Exactly. And Palace is a team that tends to start slow,
Right.
feel out their opponents, and then try to hit them on the break in the second half.
Okay.
So if Ipswich are sitting back, inviting that pressure like they've been doing at home, it could play right into Palace's hands.
Mhm.
I think it's really going to be a battle of who can break their own negative pattern first.
It's interesting you say that because I'm also seeing Palace historically struggles in December. Like no wins in their first December match, the last 3 seasons. Is that a mental thing for them at this point?
It's definitely something to consider. I think these trends, they can start to weigh on you. And for Ipswich, they might see this as a chance to pounce early.
Yeah.
Knowing that Palace might be a bit hesitant. But then again, Palace will be desperate to break that December curse. They'll want to prove those stats wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It adds a whole other layer for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, we can't forget. I mean, Ipswich, they do have a pretty good record against London clubs at Portman Road, right? They're unbeaten in their last 4.
Hmm.
So, I don't know. Maybe they just need a familiar foe to get them going.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does facing a London club give them that little mental edge? Or is this Palace team, despite their December woes, just a different beast altogether?
Well, let's talk players then. Omari Hutchinson, he's the one that jumps out for Ipswich. He seems to love scoring between the 40th and 50th minute. I mean, 4 of his last 5 goals have come in that 10-minute window. That's wild.
Right. That is a fascinating stat. I mean, what that tells me is this is a player who thrives as the game opens up.
Yeah.
Maybe, when defenses get a little tired, maybe lose focus.
Yeah.
So could that be a key period in this match? Especially if it's a cagey kind of tense affair like we're expecting.
Yeah, yeah. And then on the Palace side, Markey, he was one to watch. All 3 of his goals have come away from home this season, which is a little strange for a center back.
It is unusual, and it suggests to me that maybe he's just more comfortable joining the attack when Palace are playing on the counter. So the question is, can Ipswich use that knowledge to their advantage? Can they, maybe keep him occupied defensively, deny him those opportunities to get forward? It'll be really interesting to see how they approach it.
All right, so we've got Ipswich, terrible home form, but a good record against London clubs. We've got Palace, slow starters, and they struggle in December, but maybe they benefit from how tentative Ipswich have been at home. I mean, what's your gut telling you?
Honestly, I think it's too close to call. This one could genuinely go either way. I think the mental aspect of this game is going to be huge. Whichever team can kind of overcome their own demons, their own negative trends, I think that's the team that's going to come out on top.
You've given us all a lot to think about heading into this one.
Yeah.
It's more than just 3 points up for grabs. It's a battle of narratives.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the deep dive.
Of course, anytime.